Nikola Jokic versus Victor Wembanyama may already be the most fascinating matchup in the NBA. We get to watch the best offensive player on the planet, the smartest and one of the craftiest players in the game today, who also pairs brute strength with unrivaled paint touch, do battle with the most gifted defender on the planet who has completely unmatched physical tools, a 7'4" phenom with an 8-foot wingspan and exceptional agility. That contrast in the chess match that it leads to is peak NBA basketball. It delivered when these two met a few weeks ago, and it delivered the other night as Jokic dropped 42 points and Wemby nearly posted a quadruple-double as he almost brought a shorthanded Spurs team to victory in Denver. Probably the most interesting dynamic that arises when these two meet is Jokic's strategy for navigating Wemby's length. The man has unparalleled defensive range and is blocking 4.4 shots per game since the All-Star break. When they last met, Jokic's unique counter to Wemby's length was to space the floor aggressively, regularly standing several feet beyond the three-point line so Wemby could not both cover him and be in help at the same time, as he does better than anyone. Then, Jokic would sprint in off the catch to put up quick floaters just before Wemby could challenge them, a strategy only Jokic could deploy so effectively because of his unmatched touch. Jokic's windows to attack without Wemby affecting every shot were brief, and he took advantage of them. Jokic had his moments of special touch shot making and quick releases over Wemby in this rematch, but he emphasized some new strategies in his effort to mitigate the impact of Wemby's length. First, he consistently prioritized beating him down the floor in transition. The second Jokic grabs this board, he is sprinting and Wemby is trailing the entire play, until Jokic slows down on this gather, which allows him to recover, but this release point makes the shot impossible to affect anyways, and that touch is special. Here, Jokic is down the court so fast that the cameraman doesn't even realize what's happening, and after he euros around Champagne, he makes sure to dunk this ball so Wemby doesn't have a chance to block it. Wemby is way behind the play here after falling out of bounds, and with him out of the picture, Jokic is basically playing with his little cousins. That's 8 quick points in transition where Jokic did not have to directly match up with Wemby's length because he identified opportunities to out-hustle him down the floor. And by the way, you'll notice Jokic dunked 2 of those balls, which is a rarity for him, and that's because if he doesn't, well, just look, he beats Wemby down the floor here, but has to lay this one up, and Wemby will gladly erase that. The other way Jokic hunted easy buckets against Wemby was on the offensive glass. Wemby takes himself out of position, chasing an impossible block even for him, which leaves Jokic alone to quickly attack the glass with a huge size advantage. Wemby forces Jokic to switch to a reverse and miss this layup, but then overruns him and takes himself out of the play, which leads to another easy putback. Wemby again chases an impossible block here, and that leaves Jokic alone on the glass. This is the one area Wemby can improve defensively. He is the best shot blocker alive already, but as he grows more mature, he'll maximize his already absurd value as a deterrent without leaving his feet and taking himself out of position to chase these blocks that, even though he routinely makes plays no one else can, are ill-advised. And once he strikes the perfect balance there, he can be the best defender ever. And given that he is that gifted, the name of the game against Wemby really is finding ways to score while avoiding him as much as you can. And Jokic is the best big in the game at hunting the easy stuff. When Jokic did go at Wemby one-on-one, he had some wins, but he also got a nice helping of the Wemby experience. Jokic beats him with the spin here, but instead of finishing a hard drive, decelerates to step back away from Wemby for this touch finish, but that is not enough room and Wemby blocks this like it's nothing, and then, by the way, hustles down the floor and scores an easy putback. Jokic found success when he was physical and decisive. He bullies Wemby to the rim here with his strength advantage, spins to his hook, and falls away to create some extra space. He again gets great position here, then spins, takes a big step back and falls away to get that hook off cleanly. Jokic was rewarded for being decisive because you have to get shots up quickly against Wemby. That hook was really working for him and he has another look at it here, but he tries to mix things up with an up and under. Not a bad idea, but Wemby doesn't leave his feet on the fake, so he just obliterates this. So even though Jokic mostly got the best of him as a scorer through a combination of strength, touch, and savvy, Wemby already presents an entirely unique challenge to the MVP, forcing him to adjust in a way no one else can. But of course, Jokic isn't just a world-class scorer, he's also a world-class passer. He only had 6 assists in this game, but when the Spurs doubled Jokic, which they did a lot with Wemby off the floor and a few times with him out there, he consistently created open threes, which his teammates mostly just missed. He also threw up a couple of his signature lobs to Aaron Gordon. Wemby has to guard him out to the three-point line here, which means no one can contend with AG on the interior. But look at this play by Wemby. Jokic has that ball out instantly once the double comes, and Wemby is a split second late rotating over to Gordon, but he still gets a hand on this ball. He's out of position for the rebound, so it's an easy tip-in, but nobody else can make that play. And Wemby had plenty of those moments in this game. He blocked Jokic 3 times, which is quite the accomplishment, but he also blocked his teammates another 6 times. MPJ tests him at the rim, God knows why, and Wemby destroys this look, then whips this pass to a shooter in transition, by the way. Here you see that unparalleled defensive range. Reggie Jackson thinks he clearly has a step until Wemby closes in and erases this. Justin Holiday has an angle here until Wemby takes one step over and blows this up. Trey Jones doubles Jokic here, and Champagnie runs Jackson off the line, but Branham and Jones both recover to KCP, so this is a textbook 2-on-1. But this ball doesn't even get out of Jackson's hands before Wemby stuffs it. I mentioned earlier Wemby chased a couple ill-advised blocks in this game, but he also blocked 9 shots, putting on another defensive highlight reel of plays only he can make. But Wemby also had quite a showing offensively. Down Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and Jeremy Sohan, the team's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th leading scorers, Wemby had to do just about everything in this one. He had some incredible moments of raw athleticism, going over the top for lobs, where Jokic obviously cannot compete, and he had some stunning moments of scoring skill. This is an absurd lefty scoop finish out of inverted pick and roll, a step back 3 in transition at 7'4", but he did have quite an inefficient scoring night overall, shooting just 9 of 29. Wemby's jumper was off in this game, and he took his fair share of tough jumpers, going 2 of 13 from outside 10 feet. He had some trouble when the Nuggets ramped up the physicality on defense. He does a nice job bullying a mismatch here and bangs bodies with AG here before turning the corner, but you also see that even Justin Holiday is able to keep him from gaining ground here and force him into a tougher touch shot, and he's generally not going to move Gordon an inch. But the offensive burden on him in this game was absurd, so I don't mind the inefficiency. He was taking on Denver without multiple starters, and he's not supposed to have to be a team's primary perimeter creator. Wemby will be his most efficient when he's paired with a high-end guard who regularly creates shots for him around the rim, and then he can pick his spots with the perimeter creation. But where Wemby really shined in this game offensively was as a passer, as he has been recently, averaging over 5 assists per game since the All-Star break. Wemby gave Denver problems running inverted pick and roll. He has shot an absolutely terrifying 39% on pull-up threes this season, so if you go under a screen, he can do this to you. So teams will generally hedge, because switching effectively leaves Wemby with an uncontested 3. No guard is affecting his jumper, and that coverage creates a brief 4-on-3 before the screen defender can recover to their assignment. Wemby picked that 4-on-3 apart here. Look at how he fits this beautiful bounce pass in before KCP can recover. Here, he gets MPJ trailing the play, forces Jokic to step up, and then slips this bounce pass in perfectly, again capitalizing on an advantage out of inverted pick and roll. That is unfair. It's one thing if a guy can catch every lob over you and shoot over you, but when he can also dissect you with playmaking, good luck. Wemby's only created with 40th percentile efficiency out of pick and roll this year, but that's really not bad for a 7'4", 20-year-old on one of the worst offenses in the league, and he's run more than 250 pick and rolls this season. That's scary stuff. His passing in transition was also excellent. All eyes are on him pushing the tempo here, and this is a great cross-court pass to the corner. Again, the broadcast man can't keep up with him here, pushing the tempo to Chetty. This pass is slightly overthrown, so it doesn't lead to a bucket, but this is a 70-foot outlet pass that's nearly on the money. That's impressive. He snuck the ball behind his back on a handoff, picked apart a double with a kickout when he had a mismatch, and took care of the ball with just 2 turnovers. To be able to carry such an outmatched team to the verge of victory, even on an off shooting night, is a testament to the once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent we are witnessing with Wemby. At this point, I'm just hoping Jokic holds off on his horse racing dreams and sticks around the league long enough for us to see this rivalry continue to develop. A stronger, smarter Wemby could be the only person on the planet to actually throw Jokic off his game. But for now, watching these many special moments from Wemby on both sides of the ball and watching Jokic work to counter this unicorn is already as good as it gets as an NBA fan. And it's only gonna get better.